So hey everyone, I'm actually going to be bringing you a story that I just found out about, and it is so freaking upsetting. So this is essentially, I don't even know what the people's relationship was. They're not really releasing that information, at least from the articles that I've been looking at. But I'll give you the little details. I'll give you the headline and all that, and then I'm gonna give my opinion as we go. So it says Amazon warehouse gunman killed by police after fatally shooting woman. A gunman was killed by police Friday after fatally shooting a woman outside of an Amazon warehouse in Mississippi. All right, y'all. Um, they're saying Memphis police said in a statement that Corey D. Brewer, 45, was fatally shot by police at around 3:20 p.m. During a traffic stop. All right, they say he was in a Honda, whatnot. So earlier that day, Corey, he ended up shooting a lady by the name of Ebony Lachey Crockett, who was 44. She died at the scene outside of the warehouse. So they said that this appears to have been an isolated shooting incident that occurred in an employee parking lot at the Amazon warehouse facility. All right. They said there's not an active shooter. They said while the motive for the shooting has not been released, Crockett and Brewer knew each other through working at Amazon. And that's pretty much all that we have as of now. There's not too much or too much information that is following this. But it's just so upsetting. I mean, it's so unnecessary. You know, you go to work, you're like, okay, I'm going to go to work, your same routine. You go to work, you clock in, you do your work and you clock out and you go back home, right? And you look at this and it's like, you go there, you clock in, or you're about to clock in, or whatever the case may be. They said it was around 3. I'm not sure what the shifts were. And then someone goes and shoots you. Now, what I think is, they said that they knew each other through working at Amazon. Now, could they have possibly been dating? Maybe. That's a possibility. That could be possible. Could they also have just, been acquaintances? And you know how you got like your boyfriend at work or your girlfriend at work, but you're not really dating, but you just call them like, oh, that's my work husband, that's my work wife, or something like that. Maybe it could have been something like that, and this guy, whatever the case may be, and he just blew up for whatever the reason is. I mean, we don't know. All you can do right now is just speculate about what may have happened. I remember I was reading a comment that someone made about the situation, and they were just talking about it, and they were saying like, yo, men, and these are facts as we see, these crime of passions, all that kind of stuff. Men cannot take rejection well. And I mean, this is what, I know I'm gonna get people be like, oh, well, that ain't true. Men could take rejection perfectly fine. You just saying that. No, there's been plenty of cases where you would have, I mean, we've even seen it where people will be like on a train, on the subway. The chick's like, yeah, I'm not giving you my number. And they go and shoot her or stab her. Those have been real cases that have happened. You'll have stuff like that. That's why you'll see women who would just go out and be like, you know what, if I'm going out, I'm give you a fake number, which I've done before. Or if they give you their real number, they'll block you almost immediately, which I've done before. Because, I mean, if you say no, the person may pull out a gun and shoot you, or get a knife out and stab you. Do what this guy did in a parking lot and shoot you. Now, I don't know if that was the case, but you have to understand, this is why a lot of women do certain things. Okay? We go out at night. Let's say we're coming home from class. Like, for example, when I was in school, I'll be walking home. It'll be late at night. And I'll be walking home from work, from class, whatever the case may be. And, you have one headphone in, one headphone out. You always got to be looking at your surroundings, just in case somebody is out to get you. Whether they're going to rape you, whether they're going to, rob you, or just approach you and you don't know them. You know what I mean? You always got to be cautious. You always have to be extra vigilant, just because you don't know these people. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you're with these people a lot of the time. Okay. If you're working 10-hour shifts, that's a lot of time that you're with these certain people, on each given day. So all I can say is this: just be extra vigilant. I get people make mistakes, and I would say about 80-85% of the time, there are signs. Unless you're dealing with a true sociopath, okay, there are signs. There are real signs out there. And if you see that someone's controlling, you see that someone's acting quote unquote funny, they're acting weird, you need to just take your shit and go. Because at the end of the day, you can't get, if someone takes your life, you can't get that back. Okay. Once you're dead, you're dead. So you need to just be very wary about who you let in your circle. And I get people make mistakes. I've made mistakes, but it's time to, learn from them. I know a lot of chicks, and I'm not saying this about this chick. I'm just saying in general, you have people who are attracted to the bad boys. You have people who are attracted to, the risque and the, ooh, you're different, whatever. Right. And, they're like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's cool. I really like that though. He's bad. He be telling me shut up and this and that. And it's like, yeah, at some point you got to outgrow all that. I'm not saying this is related to this, but I'm just saying in general, because I see a lot of people who are with these kind of guys, and I'm like, yo, you need to stop that, because at the end of the day, that ain't a guy who ain't shit is only going to drag you down to make you ain't shit. You know what I mean? You're just going to be swimming in ain't shitness. Okay. Meanwhile, if you were to, get with one of the quote unquote nice guys or whatever, you'll have a much better life. You're not having no duck and wonder like, oh man, someone going to put a hit out on him or do this and do that. So at the end of the day, it's just be very cautious about who you talk to, who you tell your business to. And this goes with coworkers, friends, your homeboy, your homegirl, whoever the case may be. It's just being very cautious about who you spend your time with and who you talk to. I'm going to tell you right now, when I work, I don't talk to anyone. Okay. It's not because I'm trying to be mean and it's like, oh, well, I think I'm better than y'all. No, I just, I'm just not trying to open up any can of worms. I'm just trying to come in here, do my job, and then go home at the end of the day. And I get, people, I haven't always been like that. So I get that people may be like, oh man, but I get bored and I want to talk. Hey, I mean, have fun, but at the end of the day, once you start connecting with people like that, once you start talking to people more, so you could open up some can of worms that you don't want to be opened. You could open up something. Now this guy may think, oh, well, she must like me because she's talking to me. Oh, well now, oh, this. And then they see that you're with someone else and they think, oh man, this person misled me. Now I got to shoot you. So it's just be very careful about who you spend your time with. Being very careful about who you choose to talk to. I'm not saying you got to be antisocial like how I am, but at the end of the day, your life, you only get one of those. Okay. So don't just be letting anyone and everyone be over there. Because at the end of the day, it could be something fatal like this. I'm not sure necessarily why. I mean, they're not releasing the motive for this, so I can't even speak about that, but I'm just saying, just be careful out there, because people are on some other things now. Ever since this corona has happened, the pandemic has happened, people have been much more violent and aggressive than they were before. I'm not saying that this stuff didn't happen before, but it has been amplified much more so. But that's pretty much all I have to say for this. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below, or read them rather. And until then.